Hey, you ever step into your mom's or dad's bedroom, maybe your grandma's, and just freeze? Something feels wrong. The room's cluttered, or there's this heavy vibe, like it's not the safe, cozy space it used to be. You can't quite name it, but deep down, you know something's got to change. Sound familiar? Look, as the people we love get older, their bedroom should be their safe haven, a place where they feel wrapped in comfort, where they can rest easy and feel like themselves. But here's the thing, there are items in that room, things we don't even think twice about, that could be stealing their peace, or worse, putting them in danger. Getting rid of these isn't just about tidying up, it's about giving them back their dignity, their safety, and a little bit of that spark they deserve in their later years. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 things you need to remove from an elderly loved one's bedroom to keep them safe, comfortable, and honestly, just happier. These aren't the obvious ones you're probably thinking of, and I'm saving the biggest surprise for last. Number 5 is something most of us miss. But once you hear it, you'll never look at their room the same way again. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this. If you're watching this because you care about making life better for someone you love, drop "I'm here" in the comments. I'd love to know you're with me. And hey, if you want more tips like this to help you navigate elderly care with a little more confidence, hit that subscribe button for Elder Talks Daily. Let's keep this conversation going together. Okay, let's dive into the first thing you need to remove: clutter and excess furniture. Picture this. It's the middle of the night and your 80-year-old dad is shuffling to the bathroom. His bedroom's crammed. A big old dresser in one corner, a chair stacked with clothes, and a rug that's curling up at the edges. One wrong step, one moment where his balance isn't quite there, and he's on the floor. That's exactly what happened to my friend Sarah's dad. He was okay, thank goodness, but it was a heart-stopping wake-up call for her family. Here's why this matters so much. As we get older, our bodies change. Balance gets shaky, muscles aren't as strong, and things like arthritis can make every step a little harder. A cluttered bedroom? It's like setting up an obstacle course for someone who's already working hard to stay steady. Falls are the #1 cause of injuries for seniors. Over 3 million emergency room visits happen every year because of them. That's not just a statistic, that's someone's parent, grandparent, or loved one. Now you might be thinking, oh, it's just a little clutter, or mom loves all her stuff. It makes her happy. I get it. Those sentimental items, that chair she's had forever, they mean something. But here's the hard truth. Even the things she loves can turn into hazards if they're blocking her path or crowding her space. Families often assume it's harmless, but every extra piece of furniture or pile of clothes is a risk waiting to happen. So, what can you do? Start by clearing out anything that doesn't need to be there. Keep it simple. A bed, a nightstand, maybe a lamp. That's enough. Make sure pathways are wide and clear, so your loved one can move without dodging obstacles. If there's a rug, check it. Is it slipping or curling? Either secure it with adhesive strips, or better yet, take it out completely. You're not just tidying up, you're creating a space where they can feel safe and in control. Decluttering their bedroom is a huge step toward keeping them safe. But there's another thing you might not realize is working against them. It's something so common, you probably have it in your own room right now. Let's talk about it next. Now let's talk about the second thing you need to remove. Heavy or high bedding. Close your eyes for a second and imagine your elderly aunt, who's always been so full of life, struggling to push herself out of bed in the morning. That thick, bulky comforter she's had for years is weighing her down. Or maybe she's caught in a tangle of blankets. It's not just annoying, it's exhausting. My neighbor's mom went through this exact thing. She'd wake up tired, frustrated, and honestly, a little defeated before her day even began. It broke my heart to see her struggle like that over something so simple. Here's what's going on. As we age, our muscles lose strength, and even small movements like kicking off a heavy blanket can feel like a workout. Heavy bedding doesn't just make it harder to get comfortable, it can mess with sleep in a big way. If your loved one is overheating under all those layers or feeling trapped, it can lead to restless nights, which makes things like insomnia or chronic pain even worse. Good sleep is like gold for seniors. It's what keeps their energy up, their mood steady, and their body healing. When bedding gets in the way, it's stealing something precious. You might think, well, I just want to keep Dad warm, so I'll pile on the blankets. I totally get it. It comes from love. But here's where that can go wrong. Too many layers or one super heavy comforter can make someone overheat, especially if their body struggles to regulate temperature, which happens as we age. For folks with breathing issues like COPD, that weight on their chest can even make it harder to breathe comfortably. It's not about warmth at that point, it's about safety and rest. So what's the fix? Swap out that heavy bedding for something lighter and breathable. Think soft cotton sheets and a single blanket that's warm, but not suffocating. If your loved one gets chilly at night, a heated blanket can be a game changer, but make sure it's got an auto shutoff feature so you don't have to worry about safety. These small changes can turn their bed into a place where they actually rest, not wrestle with their covers all night. It's about giving them that feeling of ease, like their bedroom is working with them, not against them. Lighter bedding can completely transform how they sleep and feel, but there's another sneaky thing in a lot of bedrooms that could be putting their health at risk. Let's dive into number 3. Moving on to the third thing you need to remove, unstable or high beds. I want you to imagine your uncle, who's always been so independent, trying to climb into his bed one night. It's one of those tall, stately beds, the kind that looks impressive but takes real effort to get into. Last year, my own uncle took a tumble doing just that. Thank goodness he didn't break anything, but the bruise on his hip wasn't the worst part. It was the way it shook his confidence. He started second-guessing himself, moving slower, feeling like his own bedroom wasn't a safe place anymore. That's when it hit me. His bed, something so basic, was actually working against him. Here's why this is such a big deal. As we age, our strength and balance take a hit. Maybe your loved one's dealing with stiff joints, arthritis, or just isn't as steady on their feet as they used to be. A high bed forces them to climb up or swing their legs in a way that demands more effort than they can safely give. That extra strain isn't just inconvenient, it's risky. Falls from beds, especially in the dark when they're groggy, are a major cause of injuries for seniors. We're talking bruises, fractures, or worse, and those kinds of accidents can steal their independence in a heartbeat. You might be thinking, but a tall bed looks so nice, or grandma's always had that bed. It's comfortable for her. I hear you. A lot of families think a higher bed feels more dignified or even easier to get out of. But that's often not true. For someone with mobility challenges, that extra height can turn a simple task like getting into bed into a daily struggle. It's not about how the bed looks. It's about whether it's helping or hurting the person sleeping in it. So what can you do to make things better? Swap out that high bed for one that's lower to the ground, ideally about 18 to 23 inches high, so their feet can touch the floor easily when they sit on the edge. If a new bed isn't in the cards, look into adjustable bed frames that let you lower the height. Sturdy bed rails can also make a huge difference, giving them something to hold on to for support. And don't skip the mattress. Make sure it's firm enough to help them move without sinking in too much. These changes aren't just about preventing falls. They're about giving your loved one the freedom to get in and out of bed without fear, knowing their room is on their side. A safer bed can make such a difference in their confidence and comfort. But there's another item in a lot of bedrooms that we tend to overlook, and it could be quietly harming their health. Let's explore number 4. Flow into the next. Okay, let's talk about the fourth thing you need to remove: bright or harsh lighting. Picture your grandma, who's always been the heart of the family, flipping on her bedroom light at night. It's one of those stark overhead bulbs that floods the room with a cold, glaring light. She squints, maybe shields her eyes, and you can tell it's uncomfortable. My friend's grandmother dealt with this for years, and it wasn't until they changed her lighting that she started sleeping better and seemed less on edge. It's one of those things you don't notice until you see the difference it makes. Here's why this matters. As we age, our eyes change. They get more sensitive to glare, and bright, harsh light can feel almost painful. It's not just about discomfort, though. Lighting affects sleep, too. A strong bulb can mess with melatonin, the hormone that helps your loved one drift off and stay asleep. If they're waking up tired or groggy, that can snowball into bigger issues like mood swings or even trouble thinking clearly. And if the lighting's too dim or too bright at night, It can make it harder for them to see where they're going, raising the risk of a stumble in the dark. You might think, bright lights are good, right? They help moms see better. That's what a lot of families assume, and it makes sense on the surface. But for seniors, those intense lights can cause more harm than good. They might strain their eyes, make them feel disoriented, or keep them up when they're trying to wind down. On the flip side, a room that's too dark can be just as bad, hiding hazards they need to see. It's about finding the right balance, not just cranking up the brightness. So how do you fix it? Swap out those harsh bulbs for soft, warm-tone LEDs. Look for ones around 2700 Kelvin, which give off a cozy, gentle glow. Dimmable lamps are great because they let your loved one adjust the light to what feels right. For nighttime, motion sensor night lights are a lifesaver, lighting up their path to the bathroom without jarring them awake. If they're sensitive to daylight, think about blackout curtains to help them sleep deeper. These tweaks don't just make their bedrooms safer, they create a space that feels calm and inviting, like a true retreat. Better lighting can completely change how comfortable and rested they feel, but there's one final item we need to talk about, and it's something most families never even consider. Let's dive into number 5. Let's move on to the 5th thing you need to remove: electronics and screens. Picture your elderly mom, who loves her evening routine, sitting in bed with the TV flickering in her bedroom. She says it helps her unwind, but you notice she's always tired, maybe a bit more anxious than usual. I saw this with my own relative a while back. Her TV was on every night, and she swore it was her comfort. But when we finally moved it out, her sleep improved, her mood lifted. It was like night and day. It made me realize how much those screens were holding her back. Here's why this is so important. As we age, our sleep becomes more fragile, and screens like TVs, tablets, or phones emit blue light that messes with melatonin, the hormone that tells our body it's time to rest. For seniors who already struggle to get deep, restorative sleep, this can make a tough situation worse. Poor sleep doesn't just leave them groggy, it can ramp up anxiety, cloud their thinking, or even weaken their immune system. And it's not just the light. The constant noise or stimulation from shows or videos can keep their mind racing when it should be slowing down. You might think, Dad loves his late-night news, it's his routine, or a tablet keeps Grandma entertained. I get it. Screens feel like a lifeline to the world, especially if mobility's limited. But here's the catch, that entertainment comes at a cost. Families often assume a little TV before bed is harmless, but it's like giving their brain a jolt of caffeine right when it needs to relax. Over time, that habit can chip away at their mental and physical health, and they might not even realize it's happening. So what can you do? Try making their bedroom a screen-free zone. Encourage relaxation with something gentler, like an audiobook, soft music, or even a good old-fashioned book. If they're really attached to their shows, set up a cozy spot in the living room for screen time, but keep it out of the bedroom. If screens are non-negotiable, blue light blocking glasses can help, and make sure they cut off at least an hour before bed. These changes aren't about taking away their joy, they're about giving them a space where their mind and body can truly rest, setting them up to feel sharper and happier. Removing screens can transform their bedroom into a real sanctuary. But now that we've covered all 5 things, let's talk about why this all hits so close to home and what you can do next. Now that we've gone through these 5 things, clutter, heavy bedding, high beds, harsh lighting, and electronics, it's time to step back and really think about what this all means. I know it's not easy to look at your loved one's bedroom, a place that's supposed to be their safe haven, and realize it might be working against them. Maybe you've seen your dad trip over a rug, or noticed your grandma wince under a bright light and it tugs at your heart. It's tough watching someone you care about face these little struggles that add up over time. But here's the truth. Every single one of those struggles is a chance for you to step in and make their world a little brighter, a little safer. Think about it like this. When you clear out that clutter or swap that heavy blanket for something lighter, you're not just tidying up, you're giving them back a piece of their independence, a sense that their space is theirs to move in, to rest in, without fear. It's like wrapping them in love, saying, I see you, I care about you, and I'm here to make things easier. That's powerful. It's not about fixing everything. It's about noticing the small things that make a big difference and taking action before something goes wrong. So here's what I want you to do. Today, take a walk through your loved one's bedroom. Look at it with fresh eyes. Is there a pile of stuff narrowing their path? A bed that's too tall for them to climb into easily? A light that's too harsh, or a screen keeping them up? Pick one thing, one small change, and start there. Maybe it's moving a chair out of the way or picking up a soft nightlight. That one step could be the difference between a restless night and a peaceful one, between a fall and a confident step. You have the power to make their days better, and it starts with these little acts of care. I know this can feel overwhelming sometimes. Caring for someone as they age comes with so many emotions: love, worry, maybe even a little guilt. But you're not alone in this. Every change you make, every moment you spend making their space safer, is a way of showing them they're cherished. You're giving them the gift of comfort, of dignity, in a world that can feel harder to navigate. And that's something beautiful. With a little patience and these simple tweaks, you can help them feel at home in their bedroom again, ready to face each day with a bit more strength. Let's wrap this up with a quick recap. The 5 things to remove from an elderly loved one's bedroom are clutter and excess furniture, heavy bedding, high or unstable beds, harsh lighting, and electronics like TVs or tablets. These aren't just things. They're barriers to their safety and peace, and getting rid of them can change everything. So I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these in your loved one's room? Maybe you've already made a change that made a difference. Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to know what you've seen or tried. If this video gave you a new way to care for someone you love, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Elder Talks Daily. We're here to share practical tips and heartfelt advice to help you navigate this journey with confidence. Thank you for being here, for caring so deeply, and for making a difference in someone's life. Stay strong, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video. Let's tie this all together. To recap, the 5 things you need to remove from an elderly loved one's bedroom are clutter and excess furniture, heavy bedding, high or unstable beds, harsh lighting, and electronics like TVs or tablets. These aren't just random items. They're silent obstacles that can steal their comfort, disrupt their sleep, or even put them at risk of getting hurt. By clearing them out, you're not only making their space safer, but also giving them a chance to feel more at ease, more like themselves in a place where they spend so much of their time. I want to hear from you now. Have you walked into your mom's or grandpa's bedroom and spotted any of these things? Maybe a pile of clothes blocking their path, or a TV glowing late at night. Or perhaps you've already made one of these changes, like swapping out a bright bulb for a softer one, and saw how it helped. Drop your story in the comments below. I'm reading every single one, and I'd love to know what you've noticed or what's worked for you. Your experiences could inspire someone else watching this, so don't hold back. If this video gave you a new perspective or a practical idea to try, please hit that thumbs up button. It's a small way to show this resonated with you, and it helps us reach more families who are looking for ways to care for their loved ones. And if you want to keep getting tips like these, simple, heartfelt advice to make this journey a little easier, subscribe to Elder Talks Daily. We're building a community here, and your support means we can keep sharing ideas that make a real difference. Before I go, I want to say thank you for being here. Caring for someone as they age is one of the most meaningful things you can do, but it's not always easy. It's a path filled with love, tough moments, and quiet victories, and you're showing up for it. That matters. Here at Elder Talks Daily, we're with you every step of the way, bringing you ideas to make your loved one's life safer, more comfortable, and filled with dignity. If you're looking for more ways to support them, check out our playlist on elderly care essentials in the description. It's packed with tips to keep you inspired. And don't miss our next video, where we're diving into the best foods to boost energy and mood for seniors. It's going to be a good one, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, for caring, and for being part of this community. Keep showing up, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next video.